are no other amendments submitted to the sponsor, Your Honor. And in that case, with the permission of the Chamber, we close the period of amendments.
If the position of the majority leader is that all we need is majority of senators constituting a quorum to approve this measure, if that is the vote required to pass the measure, Mr. President, Your Honor.
Mr. President, because as Senator Escuderos pointed out, it is the core issue of the debates that we have been having. House Bill 4146 and Senate Bill 2756 are amendments to the ARMM Organic Act. Therefore, the amendments contained may become effective only upon a vote of 2/3 of the members of the House of Representatives. Therefore, how we would like to inquire what is the manner that we will decide upon the passage or non-passage of these measures. In that way, I suppose I more or less second what Senator Escudero has been questioning.
In the course of the debates, that issue was raised a number of times, and this sponsor has taken the position that we are amending and repealing, in fact, Republic Act 9333, and in the sponsorship speech that we made, we are not touching the Organic Act.
Together with Senator Marcos, they have posed a query on what number of members of the Senate would constitute a positive or a negative vote, Mr. President.
In the debate, it has been emphasized by the sponsor of the measure that the proposed House Bill number 4146 alongside Senate Bill number 2756 is not intended to amend the Organic Act, but simply to amend a statute.
Yes, Your Honor, that has been the position that we have taken in the course of the debates, that what we are amending is not the Organic Act, but the laws that set the election, in the same manner that all these laws were amended 5 times or 6 times in the history of the legislature, and it is always the majority that is required, not 2/3 vote.
Mr. President.
The gentleman from Sorsogon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, without appealing, insofar as this representation at least is concerned, the ruling of the chair, this representation would like to take exception and makes of record that he takes exception to the ruling of the chair. And although this representation will also participate in the vote later on, it should not in any way be interpreted to mean that this representation acceded.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Allow me also to
gentleman from Ilocos Norte.
To register my objection to the ruling and perhaps make a suggestion to the chair that to decide this on the floor, we could divide the House as to what the view is of our fellow senators in terms of this question, whether or not 2/3 vote is required for the Senate to pass these measures before us, Mr. President.
Mr. President,
What is the pleasure
I beg to disagree with the distinguished gentleman because there was already a ruling. The only thing that we can do is to appeal the ruling.
Thank you, Majority Floor. Mr. President, in that case, I would just like to register my continuing objection, having taken the position that 2/3 vote is required because this is an amendment to the organic law. Thank you, Mr. President. Majority Floor.
Mr. President, since the proposal to divide the House on this issue of whether a 2/3 vote is required has not prospered, I would like to state that I support the position of Senators Escudero and Senator Marcos.
May I now move with the permission of the Majority Leader?
Mr. President, we might as well divide the House on this measure by nominal voting.
This is second reading.
Second reading.
Well, we will register even a second reading. Like in my case, I would like to register.
Yes, Mr. President, if there is an objection, then we will have to divide the House. I am informed that Senator Joker Arroyo is objecting to the motion of the sponsor and is asking for a nominal vote.
Nominal voting, and the Secretary will please call the roll of senators and register their votes.
Roll call vote for second reading. Honorable Senators Angara, Arroyo, Tano Alan Peter.
Slow down, please. Slowly. Senator Angara voted negative. Senator Arroyo voted negative.
Cayetano Alan Peter Compañero. Cayetano Pia. Defensor Santiago. Drilon.
Yes.
Ejercito Estrada. Escudero. Gingona. Honasan. Lacson. Lapid. Legarda. Marcos. Osmeña. Pangilinan. Recto. Revilla. Soto. Trillanes. Villar. Subiri. Senate President Enrile.
Yes.
Can we now have the results of the voting, Your Honor?
With 13 affirmative votes, 7 negative votes, House Bill number 4146 is approved on second reading.
Yes, Mr. President, the President of the Republic has
This is
certified the
certified
measure pursuant to Section 26 of the Article 6 of the Constitution, thereby dispensing with the required 3-day rule. I move to vote on third reading House Bill 4146, taking into consideration Senate Bill 2756.
Secretary may now please call the roll of senators.
Honorable Senators Angara, Arroyo, Defensor Santiago, Drilon,
Yes.
Ejercito Estrada, Escudero,
Gentleman from Sorsogon.
Just briefly, Mr. President, Your Honor. Mr. President, tonight we heard the voice and the vote of the senators, although none of us come or hail from ARMM. By tonight's vote, Mr. President, Your Honor, we declared that we do not want to hear the voice and the vote of the people in ARMM insofar as choosing their leaders are concerned. Thank you, Mr. President.
Ingona, Honasan, Lacson, Lapid, Legarda, Marcos.
Mr. President,
Gentleman from Ilocos Norte.
I vote no. And with this vote, the die is cast, I believe, for the autonomous region of Muslim Mindanao. I just hope that the warnings that we have made over during the debate over these proposed bills, or this now approved bill, those warnings will be heeded, because I dread the thought that those warnings will come to fruition. So, Mr. President, it is with a heavy heart that we watch this vote go through and these proposals be approved. But we will continue to work for the autonomy of Muslim Mindanao and for our Muslim brothers to continue to exercise their right of suffrage. Thank you, Mr. President.
Osmeña, Pangilinan,
Thank you, Mr. President. I vote yes.
Recto, Revilla, Soto, Trillanes, Villar, Subiri, Senate President Enrile.
I would like to announce now the voting. 13 affirmative votes, 7 negative votes, 0 abstention. The chair announces House Bill number 4146 is approved on third reading.